Hello and welcome to Stampin' by Hannah. Welcome to Fancy Fold Friday as well, which is a series of posts I run on my blog every week, and we look at different fancy fold cards. So this week I have a Twisted Easel card for you. Oh. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this on video, but there'll be some much better pictures on the blog. But I thought I would show you exactly what I did to make it. So you're going to need a piece of Tangelo Twist cardstock that is 12 inches by 6 inches, a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock that is 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and a piece of very vanilla that is cut to 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to use the Stampin trimmer for this. I'm hoping it fits in the shot. The Stampin trimmer comes with two blades. You have a dark grey blade, which is your cutting blade, and a grey blade, which is your scoring blade, which is the blade we're going to use today. So, extend the arm out as well, I think. There we go. I can actually see what I'm looking at now. It's lovely. Oh, I can see what you can see. So, we insert our cardstock up to 6 inches and score. And then we're going to score again. I'll put my arm away to do this. So, let's say, if you look on the inside of this card, you hopefully can see there's a score line that goes from the bottom in the middle to the top at the edge. So that's what we're going to do. If you line the outside corner up with the groove in the middle of your Stampin trimmer, and then rotate and put your finger on it, and then you can rotate this piece of cardstock and line that initial score line up with that groove in your trimmer. Hold it really still, close the trimmer, and then with the scoring blade, the light grey blade, which you can't see but it is there, and not the dark grey blade, score. So then you should have two score lines on your cardstock. Okay, you fold it. We're going to fold it that way, and we need to burnish this line really, really well. If you don't burnish it really well, you'll find that your card sort of pops up of its own accord. And then we're going to fold this piece inwards and burnish. If you don't make that, if you, as you can see, if you don't do that initial burnish line well, it tends to sort of flop about. So you need some really good burnish lines, and that gives you your Twisted Easel. For the rest of the card, I've used the Butterfly Basics bundle from the Stampin' Up! Spring Summer catalogue, which includes this stamp set, which comes in two halves, and the other half is in my shelves somewhere. And we're going to use this lovely leaf stamp and the Happy Birthday. But it also comes with some butterfly thinlits dies. And I've actually used magnetic photo paper. I've used magnetic photo paper to store my dies on, just because it keeps them nicely in the pockets. But this die here, see that, is the only die that fits this stamp set, and it fits that stamp there. The other two butterflies, which are both beautiful, coordinate with this stamp set but don't match it exactly, which is unusual for Stampin' Up! I think it's the first time they've done that. I'm going to use this butterfly die today, and because you don't want to sit and watch me try and get all the tiny little pieces out of the dies, I've actually already die cut two butterflies. There's one in that lovely Tangelo Twist colour, another one in vellum, and they're going to sit one over the top of the other. Because it's vellum, adhesives are a little bit awkward, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a glue dot. One single glue dot should be enough. and I just pick my glue dots up with my paper piercer. I'm going to pop it straight down onto the into the middle of that orange butterfly and lay my vellum butterfly over the top. The great thing about glue dots is because they're only little, they're easy to cover, and I will cover them later on with some pearls. First though, let's get some stamping. So I've brought in that very vanilla piece again, which is 5.5 by 5.5, and I've got that leaf stamp mounted up on my block. I'm going to use some Mossy Meadow, which again, actually all three colours that I'm using today are all in colours from 2014 to 2016. And so I've inked up my stamp, and I'm going to stamp it 3 times. I'm going to stamp it first, and then I'm just going to rotate it slightly, but trying to keep this tail in the same sort of place. And again in the other direction, to give you that kind of gradated leaf. It's lovely, it's like a fern, isn't it? I think that's really pretty. Get rid of that one, and then I've got the Happy Birthday stamp and some Blackberry Bliss ink. And the trick with this Happy Birthday stamp is to get the word happy lined up correctly on your block, because if you put the stamp on and happy is not level and not straight, you'll find that the whole stamp looks crooked. So ink that up, and I know that this happy is lined up straight because I've already tested it. Line the piece of cardstock up with your grid paper, and then line the edge of the block up with the edge of the cardstock, and that should help you get a straight sentiment. I'm going to attach this piece onto my Blackberry Bliss with some snail, just in the corners. And then I'm going to use some fast fuse to stick this onto the front of my card. Now the trick here is to make sure that the corners are lined up with that score line. Now we only want to put adhesive on this piece, and you could put adhesive straight on here. I find it easier to put the adhesive on here. So to work out where you're going to put it, we're going to take hold of both corners and turn it over, and I know that I need to put adhesive on this piece here. If I put any up here, it'll stick, the piece will stick to that, and we don't want that. Our Twisted Easel won't work. So just a bit of fast fuse, and then line up your corners with that score line, and there is our Twisted Easel. So that the Twisted Easel stays, because at the moment that's not going to stop, we need a stopper. So I've got another piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock and my Elegant Butterfly punch, and I'm just going to punch out a butterfly and attach that with a dimensional. It's just, and the way to find out where you need to put your butterfly, if you set your easel card up with just about where you want it to be, and then you can pop your stopper down, and that will stop that. Then all I have to do then is attach my butterfly, which I'm going to do with another glue dot when I find them. Put them down and then lose them all together. So butterfly on, and then I've got some of the Basics pearls, which I could have coloured with some of the blendabilities, but I've just left them plain There we go. And that is your Twisted Easel card for Fancy Fold Friday. Thanks for watching Stampin' by Hannah. See you again next time.